All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about some of the tools in Sweep and Loft, as some of you expressed interest in, what else can be done. Um, the first thing that's not really part of Sweep and Loft, but it's more of a possibility of what you can do. So the sweep here, you see that spiral in the little example there, and let's just first talk about that. So there is a Helix tool. So if you type the word Helix and hit enter, what happens is it's asking you for a base point, right? There's a center of the base. So I'm going to left click, and then it asks you for a radius, right? So I'm just going to say 10. Hit enter. And then it asks for the top radius, right? So we can have a variable helix or spiral. And the top radius, if I make it 10 as well, then what we can do is we could have, something that looks like a spring. If I do helix again, and center, and specify the base radius, this time I'll do 10 again. But this time we'll cut it in half, we'll do top radius of 5. So we get a variable spring, like so. So here the radius is the same. Here the radius is not the same. And there are other options, for the helix. So basically, for the base radius, I'm gonna say 5. And for the top radius, let's just do 30. Right, but if I keep it down towards the very bottom for specifying the height, I'm going to say height 0. Well, then I've got a spiral and not a helix. So there's a couple things that you can do, and hopefully you'll notice when you're creating these helix and spiral combinations that there are other options. Let's just say I'm doing a variable spring here. Down in the command line, I've got an axis endpoint, I've got turn height, and twisting. All of this kind of stuff will if you're working on the pitch of a thread or something, then I can control the turns with the letter T. Enter the number of turns. Maybe I do 20 turns. So that kind of brings my spring to a whole new level, right? Turn height. So H for turn height. What's the distance between the turns? I'm going to say 0.05. Right, so then it's a very low type of thing. So there's a lot of options if you just look in the command line. And those will all be given to you at some point, if you have that desire. We're going to try using the twist command. And I'm going to draw a line. Something like that. And then I'm going to draw 2 circles. And let me see. I'm going to draw one circle here. And another one there. There we go. So let's see if we can make this happen. Use the sweep tool. Select my profiles to sweep. And I want to do twisting. Right, so I'm going to go down here to twist and enter the twist angle. So let's just try 360 and the path. So you can see what happens here is that the 2 profiles does a singular twist. Right, if I undo that, undo one more. We'll try it again. So I'm going to sweep. And I'm going to do twist. And let's try... let's try to do something crazy. 1,360 for an angle. Let's see if that'll work or not. There we go. So basically you've got several twists in there. So this is a nice way that you can make, you know, wires or cabling that is kind of in a twisting pattern. So that's kind of a nice thing to do. When it comes to screws or threads, right, that's going to be, again, using this Helix combination. But the first thing you need to do is you need to have a cylinder. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to create a cylinder. We're going to make this 5 inches in diameter, or radius rather. And let's see. I mean, I know this is going to be very, very large, but let's see. We'll make this 40 inches tall. All right. And then we need to create a helix kind of with the same specifications, right? So the center point is going to be right in that center there. And I'm going to have the same 5-inch radius and same 5-inch radius up above. And before I place this, I might want to, well, actually it doesn't look too bad. Let's shift that angle. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. And I'm going to bring it right up to the top height there. So now I've got a path, a helical path, and I've got a cylinder, which we'll be able to kind of cut into, okay? And now we just need a profile, right? So that profile, and I'm just kind of going to mock one up really quick, kind of based on the size here. I'm going to do my best, and because basically these are all triangular in nature. So does that look pretty even? Might be a little skewed. Not exactly what I was looking for, but we can still use it, and I might be able to change the baseline on it. The baseline changes because it does have 3 angles or 3 points to it. We can sort of control what point goes where, or where the baseline is and how it attaches to that helix. So without doing anything at all, okay, let's do this. Let's go ahead for the sweep and just see naturally where it falls. So I'm going to click on my profile, and I'm going to select the helical path. All right, so that's what that looks like, and that's actually not too bad at all. All right, so once I've got that figured out, then we subtract, right? We do the old subtraction method, subtracting from that cylinder our helix, and you get threads. So if you needed to make threads, this is how you would do it. I'm going to undo just a couple of steps back. One more, there we go. If we're doing the sweep again and selecting the profile, hitting enter after that, right? Then we have options for alignment and base point. Alignment is, you know, if by default it's going to be perpendicular to the path, no matter what, and you can change the alignment so that as long as your profile and path are not coplanar, they're not on the same level, then you can realign, basically meaning that the way your profile is will stay compared to how the profile is. So you can kind of give it an angle if you want, but the base point, right, specify a base point. So this is going to be what is going to be on the path. So I'm going to select this this midpoint here, and then select my path. There we go. And you can see that it places the midpoint, right, just like I selected, right on that spot. So now again we do the subtraction. And we get threads. Usually after you create a thread like this, you know, then you would go ahead and chamfer and fill it. And what you could, you know, really quickly do is use the press pull. see if this will work. Maybe not. Usually that would be something that you'd be able to redefine. And let's see if we go 1, 2, and it may have something to do with the may have something to do. Yeah, that's not 3D. So I'm going to undo that. Again, it likes to play tricks on you. Let's see. So I'm going to pick face. There's my face. I'm going to accept that. Should have been accepted anyways. Let's see if the press pull will work now. It's recognizing some face over there. I'll try one more time. And let's accept. So let us draw. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And we'll extrude. Making sure that we get all this. Oop, let's try the extrusion one more time. Maybe I'll change this over to wireframe. There we go. Extrude. Hit the tab key. Maybe I can cycle select. No, that doesn't want to work. All right, so we'll do it, again, always problem solving. Always problem solving. So I'm going to turn this like so. Extrude. And this time we'll do a selection, right? A crossing, or actually just a window. And now I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to bring it back. I'll put this back into conceptual so you can see exactly what's going on. All right, and from here we can do a subtraction again. So 1 and 2, and that kind of chamfers that so that we have a nice even edge there. And then chamfer edge for 3D is a nice little thing that we can also do. We'll get the whole loop. Hit enter twice after you do it. And we can do the same thing on the bottom. But that's basically how you work with threads. So hopefully you've learned a little bit something using the extra tools on the bottom of the command line. Again, anytime you want to look at what else is possible, always look down on the command line. There's always extra features there, and it's worthwhile just kind of checking them out and seeing what they're about. Good luck.